Episode 15, part 2, we'll call it, given our technical issues yesterday. Your 6th national title was won over the weekend, and now that you've time to digest that, how are you feeling?
Yeah, great. It's always nice to win. I've been playing pretty average for the last year, so it's always in the back of your mind, like, you know, can you get something done? And it doesn't matter the size of the event. It's just going there with a plan. I kind of said openly on this podcast, you know, a couple of weeks ago that I wanted to get something out of the last 3, let's say, events. But prepared really well. I prepared really well the way I wanted to prepare, and I was up for it, and I was in it, and it was lovely. Yeah.
And the week previous, so you're away. You weren't hitting balls, but you were in the gym, tipping away, working on fields and so on. And how much do you feel that has transferred over, and just that you had a nice rhythm going into?
Yeah, so we were on holidays, but there was a great gym there, and you know, I have my own routine that's, I suppose, specific to general fitness. But I'm always moving. I'm always, you know, even when you're thinking about it, you're still working at it. Like, you know, you're thinking about your movements. Like, I'm just nuts about golf. Like, sure, I'm playing basketball with my 3-year-old at night, and I'm trying to feel my feels, like, and it's just a constant way of training for me. Like, you know, obviously you have to put club on ball. Like, so I came back, did a really good session in the swing room over here in the club, and just had a couple of good sessions, what I would categorize as training sessions on the range, not necessarily practice, but and rigorously stuck to that then in my warm-ups. Now, I played the golf course blind. I hadn't played there before, so no practice round, didn't really know where I was going, but really stuck to the, I suppose, the ball to target principle, like, and executed that, which, you know, that's another podcast in itself. Like, you know, do practice rounds, do they help or do they hinder? It's a really good topic. Like, I stand on, you know, I don't play practice rounds religiously for numerous reasons, but yes, you probably need to see where you're going. But there was probably one shot I could have had back again in the first round, a par 5, second shot into 12, that I didn't really know what was around the green. But on the flip side of that, there was a couple of tee shots that I probably would have hit a different club had I known where the trouble was. I just whaled driver down there, and you're kind of down at the ball going, Jesus, I didn't know that there was there or that was there. So there's an element of freedom to that, and you know, I shot 2 under, kind of driving away going, all right, fair enough, 2 under, I was two behind, and then kind of eased my way into the event then.
As always, Gary Murphy, his coverage was top class, and you know, just following that over the weekend, it got to the point where you were level with your playing partner, and then you went 3 shots ahead, but you still had an unbelievable up and down on the 18. So what was going through your head when you were under the tree looking to hit that shot on 18 before you started?
Sean Reddy was caddying for me, and we kind of, my fault, like I hit a very similar tee shot on 16. I was just trying to rip it up the left and fade it, and I was actually hitting really good shots, but they weren't really, they were starting a little bit left of my start line, grand. So there was a shot that I was under a tree on 16 as well. I just hit it too hard and over the green, and hit actually half bladed the chip shot, and made a very good 5 there. So then on 18, similar situation, kind of had luckily enough, but the shot had to be low and it had to be drawing. It was about a 1-3-5 to the hole, but it was a tricky shot. And you know, you're 2 shots ahead, but you still need to close it out, you know what I mean? And you're still 1 shot away from being under more pressure and so on and so on. You just want to ease it up there. So shot came off perfect, probably a hair left of what I wanted, but it bounced right and ran up the green lovely and rolled in the putt. So it was a lovely way to finish it, you know.
When that putt sinks, is it an immediate relief? Because you had been questioning over the last couple of years, and you know, on this podcast, how is my best stuff behind me?
It's funny, you know, golf will test you mentally all the way, like, you know, and you make blunders like all of the time, like even. Right, you're kind of saying, okay, I've won plenty before. This should be easy to get done, but it's really not. Like, you know, I suppose I could sense the tournament. You do get a sense sometimes the tournament is heading your direction, and then it's up to you to close it out. But funnily enough, even on that green, so I had about a 25 footer for birdie, 2 ahead, thinking I've 3. It just crossed my mind. I should have 3 putts, which is a terrible thing to think. Like, right? Oh, you have 3. You could have 3 putts, right? you don't want to just 3-putt to win a tournament. And then my nearest challenger holds a putt across the green from 30 feet. Like, Brian, I was like looking at him going, Jesus. And then I switch in again, you're kind of going, right. And this then I had something to lean on, because I remember holding a putt to get into a playoff in the Irish Amateur in European Club. And I remember looking down at the ball going, just get the pace right. So I did that same thing again, and and I did putt well in that tournament, but it was just lovely to see the thing breaking and falling in the front door.
Yeah, by your reaction, you kind of almost guided it in with your left hand. For people, again, as we said in part one, that we messed up, it's an assault on the mind, the game of golf. What is your advice to golfers who have been going through a rough patch, regardless of level, and are thinking of packing it up or whatever? I think.
Yeah, sure. We hear it all the time. Like, it's funny when you're working with clients in the gym. It's like a golf counselling session, like back and forth. So it's healthy for everyone. But like, I suppose we touched on this yesterday. Like, you know, I always advocate for people at all levels. You know, if you're playing. I think people make a mistake sometimes when they play in a Stableford mindset and they think, oh, I have a shot here, I'm going to play the hole differently, or I have something to lean on. But when you play in a stroke play mindset, whatever your level, you just need to get the ball in the hole in as few shots as possible. So, you know, if it's a par 4, you know, regardless of your handicap, you're trying your best. You're not changing the way you play certain holes, you know, by virtue, oh, I have a shot here, or I have a cushion. I think it'll keep you engaged and it'll make it a little bit more challenging. So, you know, the other side of it is it's just back to routines. You know, when I look back over the tournament there, the simple things I did really well, my rehearsals before every full shot, really good result for me on that, or good tick for that. My putting routine, you know, I can honestly say I did the same routine over every single putt, which is a big takeaway for me. It just makes everything all the more tighter for me. So again, it's just brushing up on those things can improve, you know, rather than hitting the best shot or whatever it is. It's just maybe brushing up on those little bits.
Yeah, I remember you speaking about when we were doing a tutorial one day, and you were chatting about even if you miss a putt, you seek a positive from the situation. Yeah. So whether it's a roll, so like that's a good way to focus on, or that's a good way to kind of set your mind on getting the most from the least.
But yeah, like if I use a line on the ball, like, so if you miss a putt but the line is rolling perfectly end over end, like, you have to accept that you've technically put a good stroke on it. You just haven't got the pace right or read the putt right. But you will have days you'll do everything right. You know, you take that putt on 18 the other day. Yeah, I had a good line on it and I lined the ball up, did my routine, got the pace right. It just so happened that I just got the pace right and the ball went into the hole. You know what I mean? Like, you could have got the pace wrong there, but a lovely putt. You have a 4-footer or a 3-footer for a win, and then that's a different scenario. So there's a lot of things that have to go your way, but some days you just have the pace, your eye is in, you just can feel things as well. So, you know, you have to wait for those days to happen.
What is your main takeaway from the competition, and what will you take into the Tipperary Scratch Cup this weekend?
I suppose, like, whatever, if it's a Sunday singles, or, you know, I can't talk about winning the Open, but whatever it is, I get the sense that the next event, and I have experience of this, you're just a little bit more confident, you're a little bit calmer, you'll just kind of play. For me, it's more playfully. You'll just kind of, I know I hate this show off phrase, but you tend to kind of soften it out and just play golf a bit more. The intent might be less, but you know, your intensity might be a bit more. So that's what I'm hoping for next weekend. Like, I played well in Woodbrook last year in their Scratch Cup. I'm going back there this year to defend it, and I'd love to win it. So again, like, Pinergy are doing a great job in trying to enhance that Scratch Cup. So I suppose the takeaway, when you win, it's great. You go there, you've just won. It's a nice feeling. So I'm just going to go there and repeat what I've done. Stick to my rehearsals, stick to my feels, commit to every shot, stick to my routines, and see how it goes.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck and well done again. Super win.
Thank you.